Hello and welcome to the Bam and Beyond podcast. This is the podcast where you learn more about BAM, the team, and everything happening with British Asian media. My name is Ray.
And I'm Simon. And today we are joined by a special guest.
I am Patrick of Project Clover. I basically do pretty much everything here, like from writing to just everything.
One-man band.
One-man band.
Heck yeah.
And
Yeah.
so Patrick's here today with us because we recently shared his short film collection, A Flower If Hidden. So if you haven't watched that yet, you have to pause this podcast.
Yes.
Go watch it.
Yes.
Go
Just open
comment.
another tab. Yeah.
Go follow him on YouTube, all of his socials. Then come back to us.
Yes.
And now that you're back here, what did you think? Right? Amazing.
How'd you like it? Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to be talking about it and just ask you some questions. Because I guess with our podcast, part of our plan was also like, we want to talk about the creative process and not just our process, but other people's. So with all of your short films in that collection, they were all done in Japan. Like,
which is insane.
Yeah.
As you said,
I'm very fortunate, to be like able to go out there as often as I did. And just, I figured like, I'm there, might as well make something like in a day. So
You did all of those in a day?
In a day, yeah.
Wait, each one?
Each one?
Each one, yeah.
Oh, wait, I didn't even know that. I thought like you spread out your time and like...
It's like, it's usually like a day with like whoever's in it, and then I just grab random B-roll like throughout like my trip there. Yeah.
That's insane.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, I'm learning something. Because we haven't, and I haven't shot anything abroad, so I can definitely take inspiration from you and your work.
It's funny because I haven't even shot anything like here in the States. I mean, probably like one, but
I've seen that.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
That's on wait, correct me, Paper
Sketch? Yeah.
Paper Sketch, yes.
Yeah.
I'll link that as well because I did like the visuals in that and you were in charge of the visuals for that. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, you were. But yeah, okay. So back to the short film. So like as you said, you recorded all in Japan. Like what kind of challenges did you face as well? Like
I think a big part or the biggest challenge is definitely finding people who are just like down to do it.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I have like a wide spread of like connections. I mean, I guess we'll address that later.
Mm-hmm.
But it's usually like just friends of friends that are like willing to, be a part of it. Like obviously I can only provide so much being the one man team that I am.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's like the biggest challenge. Another thing is like translating. I'm learning Japanese, but I also like have a lot of friends. My boss at work is also Japanese, so I'm able to like ask them for like favors. But yeah, I think those are the two big ones. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Big challenges,
so when you wrote those scripts, like so that was done in like obviously like English first, and then so you managed to get help to translate them as well?
Yeah. So I would write it out, and then I would just kind of like go back and forth with whoever's helping me translate, whether it be like a high school friend, my boss from work, or just like even with the actors too. Fortunately, like some of them spoke English, like maybe very little, but I was able to like kind of like work things out. Like, oh, this sounds kind of awkward, so make it sound more like casual. Just kind of like more like natural, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those natural conversations.
Yeah. I mean, like, because in Japanese, there's like different levels of like formality.
Yes.
So, yeah, just given like whatever the relationship of like the characters are, just kind of like, bring it to that level.
Wow. I actually didn't really know that. Like I knew like Japanese was a more complex language.
Yeah.
But in terms of
it's weird because there's like a lot of like nuances that like aren't like out there. But yeah, it's kind of like if you're definitely exposed to it, there's like certain levels to like
you can definitely hear it as well. With
Yeah.
like when you talk to someone who's like a senior or something like that, you can definitely see that. I learned that from watching. There's a particular show in Japan.
A show or an anime?
No, it was actually a TV show.
Oh,
It was,
okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's not Terrace House, is it?
No.
Okay.
Well, you get to see that in Terrace House, but
Yeah.
but it's not as prominent. But yeah, I can't actually remember what the show's called. I feel really bad. It's actually one of my favorite.
Oh, wait, what kind of show is it?
Yeah, what is it about?
It's like there's two comedians, Cocorico, and there's another two older comedians, and basically happens every year, and if they laugh, they get hit with a bat. It's basically try not to laugh for 24 hours.
Okay.
And it's they're like locked together and doing challenges throughout the whole day, and they're not allowed to laugh, and it's quite funny to see them do it. To see a man in their 50s get hit with a baton, it's actually quite funny.
Wait, like a foam one or
yeah,
like
a foam one.
Cool.
So back then, when it first started, it was with actual bats, and then there was like blow darts and everything. It was actually hilarious.
Yeah, I need to watch this.
Yeah, I will remember. Oh, Gaki no Sukai. Sorry, just came into my head. Gaki no Sukai. Yeah, it's Gaki no Sukai.
Yeah.
But
I've seen a few episodes, but
yeah, they're quite funny. They also did the Silent Library, if you know about that as well. Gaki no Sukai, but
it's like that same like genre.
Yeah, I feel like Asian shows are very different.
They are
very different.
Very different, but they're super entertaining, and I love it. But yeah. Anyway,
to cycle back.
Yes.
So as you were, because we're talking about like dialogue. I feel like Ray, when we've worked on our older short film stuff, I feel like we do leave room for, I guess, the people who are in our videos to sort of alter dialogue to how they would say it. Because we don't, I mean, me and Ray have talked about this a lot about British Asian actors, actresses. And we've had, like you, we've had, been very fortunate to have friends who would agree to be in our short films. And as you said, it's that case of like, because they aren't actors, when we do have them read dialogue, we do sort of tailor it to like them, and
so like it's a little more like comfortable, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was gonna get hella deep, because in some way we're all just acting, right? Just if there's a camera recording.
Yeah, I mean,
this is very
to
true.
some extent. Yeah.
This is very true. This is very, very true.
Yeah, because I really want to pick your brain, because like, with your whole writing process as well, it's very like your short films are very different to stuff I've seen.
Yes.
So far, and Ray's already jumping to agree, because when we watched it, we were like, I mean, I've already seen it, but we're watching it with someone else. It's another experience.
Yeah.
I guess like with your stories, like and it's like hella cliche that this question, but like, where does your inspiration come from?
So a lot of it comes from one, like anime. I think on the surface, there's like this like, well, given with like some anime, there's on the surface, it's like this like happy, like fun show, but underlying, there's always like this sad like tone to it.
Yeah.
And I think
this is true.
And I think like Japanese people are very, I mean, obviously like I'm not Japanese, but I've definitely immersed and exposed myself to like the culture and just kind of like their way of thinking, and they're not very like expressive in terms of like their emotions. So I think because of that, I kind of wanted to like highlight that it's okay to like feel certain things, and it's okay to like show your emotions. More specifically with like the last one, One Step Closer.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's either like anime or like either my personal experience or like even just like song lyrics sometimes. Yeah, it's really weird. Like there's always that like one line of like from like a song lyric, and I'm like, oh, maybe I can like write something around that.
I love that.
I love that.
Because
I feel that way.
Yeah.
When you listen
like
to music,
definitely influence from like everything.
Yeah, I think that's as we are like creatives, artists, we take inspiration from literally
our environment as a whole.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And everything around us, and as you said, people and other forms of art as well. So, like, in terms of music, what kind of What kind of music do you listen to?
So I do listen to a lot of Japanese music.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, because like I'm learning the language, so I
Okay.
definitely like subconsciously tap into like immersive learning.
Mhm.
So like yeah, it's like a lot of mixture of like pop, rock, and like ballads. So yeah, so just depending on like I guess the song. I mean, even you'll find like the most interesting like lyrics from like rock songs.
Japanese rock songs.
Japanese rock songs.
It's J-rock. Yeah.
Because J-rock, I think the only band I've listened to is One OK Rock.
Yeah, One OK Rock has some good songs. Like there's a band called Survive Said the Prophet, and it sounds like so edgy.
Yeah, I was about to say that. It sounds like some punk band.
But their lyrics are very like kind of like be who you want to be like true to yourself. Yeah. The tone is very like angsty.
Okay.
Okay. So see, that what you just said reminds me a little bit about like BTS, like one of their previous eras, in terms of the messages that they try to put out there. Wait, so how long have you been learning Japanese now?
It's technically been like 8 years, but it was very on and off.
Okay.
And not until like maybe last year I started to take it like a little more seriously, because I was like, might as well. Like I have this knowledge, and my bosses say I know more than I think I do. Right. So I was like, might as well like take that into and like ride along with it. But,
would you have any tips for people who are trying to learn Japanese?
I'd say take it at your own pace.
Yeah.
Like even if it's just like 30 minutes a day, like that'll take you further than practicing like 5 hours each day or like extensive. But yeah, just take it slow. No one, like you're not in like a time crunch unless you are. And it's okay to like make mistakes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can all like definitely definitely live by that. I was gonna say, because you made a good point in terms of learning half an hour a day to versus like 5 hours. I actually remember this like psychology study of, I think it was to do with like violinists, and it was kind of to do with how much they practiced and / how much like sleep they got. And they found that the violinist who was like sleeping a bit more and also like not over practicing was like better or something like that. I'm gonna have to correct myself or something, but
it also depends on like how efficient you do it too.
Yeah, it's your efficiency, right, as well, because some people have different attention spans, so depending on how good your attention span is as a whole, you can either study for potentially 5 minutes a day and function better than that of someone who studies for half an hour a day, just doing in like small intervals. So yeah, it's cool. The mind works in such strange ways,
right?
I mean, because I can only speak one language, and I'm like two different like Asians, and it's like, so I can't speak Tagalog, and my mom's from like Pampanga. Mom, if you're listening, I'm sorry, I butchered that. She speaks Kapampangan.
Yeah.
And my dad's was from Singapore, so he spoke like Cantonese Mandarin, and I can't speak anything. So I'm kind of like, can I even say I'm British Asian even though I only speak English?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Definitely, without a doubt. You are a man of two different halves, and you're Asian, and you're in the UK.
Yeah.
Definitively speaking, if you can't speak another language, that does not make you any less of a British Asian.
Yeah, that's true. But I guess like it's natural to kind of
instinctively feel that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt like that.
Yeah.
Before I learned Tagalog, I felt like that. Fortunately for me, I kind of ended up being left in the Philippines alone with my cousins to end up sort of picking up the language, and then coming back to the UK, kind of forced myself to practice with my parents. Yeah.
Wait, so Ray, like, do you ever think in Tagalog, or is it?
It's weird. Sometimes it's actually dependent on who I'm speaking to because I don't know what language I actually think in. I think most of the time it's definitely English, but when I speak in
Okay.
Tagalog, it just comes out naturally. So I don't actually think in English when I'm speaking Tagalog because I don't have the translation. It's just there because sometimes I don't know how it works.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's weird.
It's like,
it's
do
honestly
you
very weird.
think in your whatever you're comfortable
Your
with?
native tongue.
Yeah.
In your native tongue, but it's just there, like in your subconscious. So I do think in English, but my response will sometimes come out in Tagalog. Yeah, it's like, oh,
interesting.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say something like, "But I feel in Tagalog."
Well,
I don't know what that means.
I mean, if you feel in Tagalog, you're like so hugot, which is like in your feels.
Oh yeah.
It's such a
Who got?
common,
Oh wait,
common phrase.
kilig.
Yeah. Oh,
Kilig.
that's another one. Yeah, feeling kilig. But yeah,
It's definitely there.
Yeah.
yeah,
We should make some Filipino films at some point, guys.
yeah.
I thought about it, but I never got myself to do it.
Oh. Wait, can you speak Tagalog?
I can like very broken.
Okay.
Yeah, but
English.
I can fully understand it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna cycle back again. I love how because I love segueing though. But
No, yeah.
so I guess what I wanted to ask was like, what was the project you enjoyed making the most?
Out of the three.
Out of the three, I'd say
Drum roll.
I'd say Another Day with You. I feel like
Yeah, that's.
I feel like that's the one I had the most fun doing. Just because everything was kind of like pulling together well in terms of like making it.
Mm-hmm.
So like I was able to get like the actors in like a good time, and it definitely a little bit like resonated in terms of like what I envision in a short film.
Okay.
Like very like green and like orange. And just kind of like that story of just like walking around and taking pictures and just having conversations. I feel like that's
honestly felt so candid.
Yeah, and I think I pulled that definitely from like an experience that I had of just like, you know, walking around and just like aimlessly walking and taking pictures and having interesting conversations. Because I think if you don't have a plan sometimes, I think that's one of the best like things come out of it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think about that kind of stuff a lot. Like sometimes part of the plan is things not going to plan. Like,
yeah.
And I think like, yeah, because with plans, like sometimes we try and, because we want to be in control.
Yeah.
Like we want to make sure we keep to the schedule and that everything that needs to happen happens. But then again, it's like when there's no plan, there's more possibilities as well in that sense. Like, but I guess because you're either planning for like certainty, right?
Yeah.
Or we don't plan for uncertainty. Oh wow, that was deep.
Someone was taken aback by his own phrase.
Yo,
whoa.
I might have to like make a quote about it. But yeah,
yeah.
So yeah, as Ray was saying, like we love your visuals, and
that means a lot
for me as well. Like, okay, so I'm saying this, and I may sound a bit like a hypocrite, but because for me it feels a lot like slice of life animes, even though I've actually never seen a slice of life. But that's how it feels,
and that's okay. This will be the segue for you to start watching.
Yeah, exactly.
To start watching. Okay, so I guess what should I start with, guys? Slice of life.
Oh, don't get me. Hold up. Okay.
Ray is the weeb of BAM, just so we.
Oh, okay.
So while Ray finds that, I guess Patrick, you can share like your favorite animes that have inspired you, I guess.
So a lot of like, I'm sure you guys have watched Your Name and Weathering with You. I think those are like the bigger ones, just because the way Makoto Shinkai like writes is very, you know, within his fields. I think definitely his older works show that a little bit more because they're a little bit more grounded.
Yes.
There isn't like this like super like fantasy like aspect or like the weather changing and this weather girl. Like I think the one he made before Your Name was wait what?
You can say 5mm.
No. The one before Your Name was The Garden of Words. And I think that story was so good because it was just about a guy liking this teacher. And they would just meet up at the park occasionally.
I remember this
5 centimeters was also a really good one and definitely like influenced me because it's like 3 parts and you're just following the story of this guy and the distance between him and the girl that he originally liked just keep getting like bigger.
Further and further. Yeah.
So like I have a list of films that I don't need to watch again.
Oh, okay.
That's like top 3. That's top 3. Like, but I feel like we're like his work has he's definitely refined his style as well, and like I guess as you said, like leaning more towards like fantasy. Because when I think of Your Name, I definitely felt elements of 5mm in some cases.
Yeah,
not all of it, of course, but again, it's always like exploring relationships, and that's something that we like to do a lot of in films or podcasts. But yeah, Ray, do you have the list?
Well, I've got a couple, but you've seen Anohana, right? That's a slice of life.
Oh, I still watch.
Oh my gosh, that will make you cry.
I don't want to cry, Ray.
That's more of a feely anime.
Yeah, it's a feely anime. I love it though.
Yeah.
I actually loved Anohana. Another Slice of Life. Actually, it's a classic, but it's actually really hated. No, not hated. It's rated really highly on like anime websites. Because it's one of the like OG ones. If you've ever watched Great Teacher Onizuka, that's a great anime as a whole.
That one's good. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. There's a bunch.
Wait, so for people who don't know what Slice of Life is, it's Slice of Life.
It's basically just like everyday
life,
events. Yeah, everyday life. There's one I watched recently. It's like half like slice of life, half like adventure.
What's it called?
It's called A Place Further Than the Universe.
Ooh.
It's about these 4 girls that want to go to Antarctica.
Okay.
And I think that was I haven't cried in so long. And I cried in like almost every episode.
Oh wow!
Wow.
What's the name of the anime? I'm putting this on my list.
Is this on Crunchyroll?
We're
not sponsored, by the way. But yeah.
It might be, or you might have to just like find other websites that might have it. It's called A Place Further Than the Universe.
See, already that title has me like, oh man, this distance, this space, my feelings.
Yeah. But it's just it's really interesting because like it's just about 4 girls going to Antarctica, but there's a lot of like in betweens of like each individual like girl is like going through something.
Ooh,
and
love that.
Whether it's like they lost their passport or like they didn't cook this certain thing correctly, like just those like everyday ish type things. I think that's a good like recent one that I watched.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if you watch Shigatsu wa Kimi no Uso or Her Lie in April. Yeah. That's
also good.
That's also pretty good.
Okay, my list of animes is just growing right second talking to you two, and don't know how I'm gonna get much work done, but it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, there's I don't know if you guys watched the title's really long.
Ooh,
it's called Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai.
I've heard about that.
It's so good. It actually inspired the One Step Closer short.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, that one surprised me. So spoiler, well, no spoilers because you should have watched it already.
You could have, but
that one, oh yeah, that ending.
That came out in 2018.
Yeah.
It's pretty recent.
It's really
okay.
Good. Yeah.
Oh right. Okay.
See, I'd consider that old. Like more than
2018?
anything more than a year. But dude, 2018 now feels like a decade ago. Like
What's the amount of work that's been going on?
Yeah.
That's happened since then. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it does feel like a lifetime ago, but for anime times, that's really recent.
it is. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, because they've got the phases of releases. They've got the spring and
Yeah,
then
they
summer
have
and then winter
spring.
release.
Yeah.
Oh,
Basically
wow.
every
Yeah.
season.
Every season. It's crazy. And you're like, oh, yay, it's a new batch. And you're like, wait, why is this batch? Yeah, they come in like different batches. It's like, yeah, we've graduated. Next one.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's
Like on
pretty
for the
cool.
next ride.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
no,
yeah, I
obviously,
think, yeah.
No,
Oh,
go,
no.
Patrick.
You. Oh, no. You.
I was gonna say, Patrick, because like your work just reminds you like live. It's like live action anime for me. Like
That's the goal.
that goal is you're
You're doing a really good job of it because I watched the live action of Anohana. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
incredible.
It's
I
really
actually
good.
cried. I cried. But yeah, and yours, I was just like, yo, this actually hits a little bit too close to home. So I'm just like, oh, dang.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of live action anime does get a lot of flack.
Yes,
Just because
this
some of
is
them are like poorly adapted, but there's some really good ones out there. There's one called the title is a little daunting, but it's called I Want to Eat Your Pancreas.
Oh, I love that. That is a good
Wait, they made a
anime.
live action
It's
of
an
that?
anime, yeah.
Yeah, they made a live action of that. So
That's a good anime though.
The title is a little off-putting, but if you watch it, no spoilers, but if you watch it, it's really good. It's probably another like top 5 for me.
Okay.
Would
Yeah,
you
I
say
thought you was
that
gonna
it's
talk
better
about-
than the anime?
Yes, because the visuals of the anime,
Okay.
I mean the visuals of the live action and the acting in the live action version,
Mm-hmm.
definitely like spoke to me a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because yeah, that anime was great. So I haven't seen the live action, so I'm definitely putting that on my watch list.
Yeah.
I think all I wanted to interject was like, because I thought you were going to mention like shonen live action adaptation. And
Oh, those are terrible. I'm so sorry. That's slick.
No, yeah,
There are some good ones.
Like
Bleach was one of them.
Oh, really?
Bleach was.
I found that okay. I didn't think it was
okay.
like wow. Yeah, I didn't say it was terrible, but I was just like, yeah.
Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't the greatest, but it adapted really well.
It kind of hurt me when I saw Death Note. I'm not gonna lie.
Wait,
Death Note one hurt me.
Are you talking about the Western?
No.
Oh, the Japanese
one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It wasn't like it wasn't terrible, but it was more like Ryuk just puts me off.
I mean, the decade that it was made.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
it definitely shows.
Yeah,
it was made in like 2004, 7. Yeah, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely dated.
Yeah. Another one is Gintama. Do you guys watch Gintama?
Is that
I've
like
watched the anime.
satire parody?
Yeah. That's a shonen series.
Yeah,
and the adaptation is really good.
Okay, I've never seen the live action of Gintama. I think I've only watched total out of the how many episodes of Gintama there are, maybe 20, 30, and I kind of just stopped.
I'm not a big Gintama fan, but I think I was on a plane and I was like, this is on here. So I watched it and I was like, oh, this is really good.
Oh, fair.
But yeah, definitely anime, more specifically Makoto Shinkai is definitely like an inspiration for like my shorts.
That's so slick.
Yeah. But I'm glad you guys see the live action goal that I'm getting at.
Oh no, yeah, man. That was the first thing I noticed. And I'm like, cause sorry, my mind went blank.
Yeah, because I think I was telling Simon, this was before I even like Simon told me about like your inspiration. What I said, this feels like an anime. I literally was telling Simon when we were watching it. I was like, yo, this hits differently because I watch a lot of stuff similar to this, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is so good. Like, you should have seen my reaction, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it again because it's slightly embarrassing to do it in front of the creator. But you know,
Oh, okay, yeah.
but yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed all three. As you said, my favorite one was Another Day with You.
Mhm.
Just because it just felt like, oh my gosh, it's the type of thing that you would actually do on a genuine date, on a just as a date. And then it's kind of like the topic of, hey, are we gonna have that cake at the end? I'm just like, oh, you remembered? Did I say that? It's kind of like the teasy play, and I'm just like, oh, I love this. I actually love it so much. But yeah.
Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah.
Okay, wait. One thing I want to ask you then, because of that one, because I feel this is my weakness. Please give me your B-roll tips. Tips for
B-roll
B-roll.
tips?
Because I'm like, I always struggle with B-roll. Like something that I don't.
Yeah,
I mean, I have an
B-roll's
event
great.
background, so I used to like have to do that a lot. But then when it comes to something like a short film, which is constructed more meticulously, I can't. Like, do you storyboard, or is it like you said, you just roam and just see how?
I just roam, kind of.
Okay.
Like I do storyboard, but like very like generalized. But I pretty much B-roll like anything and everything, because if it's there, like you could use it, or in the end you don't. But
Can use it for later
sometimes like
projects
it
as
works.
well.
Yeah. Like I have like, I'm trying to construct the short based off of like leftover B-roll I have.
Oh wow.
Because I mean, obviously, you know, given the certain circumstances, obviously I can't go to Japan, so you know, I'm just gonna have to work with what you got.
Defo.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But-
I need to roam, just roam. Okay.
Yeah, just anything and everything that, you know, that interests you. Because if it doesn't interest you, it might not interest others.
Yo, so that's how I feel when I'm editing. And when I'm editing something, the second I start to lose interest, okay, I need to cut it. Like,
Oh.
So when I do videos, like I'm literally probably watching it at least 100 times. But that's my stuff.
It's funny because I have a hard time like rewatching my shorts.
Why?
How? Because I feel like I pick at it. I'm like, oh, that could have been better, or this could have been better.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
feel you. I used to be like that so bad. Ray knows.
Yes.
But now I'm like, yo, it is what it is.
It
is what it is.
Oh man. But yeah, man, just again keep creating because we want to see more. We want to share more of the stuff.
Hopefully I can make more, you know.
Yeah. You will make more. You definitely will. You have the talent.
Thank you.
Bro. Like you're great. Honestly.
It's funny, we were just talking about going Japan very recently as well.
Well, yeah, I want to really badly. My mom's been, and she was telling me how like incredible it was when she went, and I haven't, and that's one of my dream locations. And I was just like, thanks, Mom, for the invite, you know. But yeah,
at least you got your gift on the way back though.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, she went to Akihabara and got me a bunch of little stuff, and then she's hidden it now. Because ironically, because I'm a pastor's kid, because my mom's a pastor, and then I asked her to get me One Piece stuff, and then she saw devil fruit stuff, and then she was just
no.
But anyway, Mom, if you're listening, love you. But yeah, but it's all good. It's all good. I kind of had to explain that it's nothing like devil demon related or something and stuff like that. But yeah,
ritual circles.
Yeah, it was nothing related to that. It's just
666.
a fruit that you eat and you get special powers, but they just called it a devil fruit, ironically. But yeah, you could have named it any other fruit but that. But you know, hey,
it has that edge to it.
It does, definitely. I do love One Piece. So.
Wait, but how long have you been watching One Piece for?
Since I was a kid.
Since you were a kid?
Yeah, but I'm pretty behind right now just because I went on a massive halt on the manga and anime as a whole.
Okay.
Just because I wanted to cater some time for it to build up and then binge again. I think I'm not so far behind because I don't know. I don't want to put any spoilers, but yeah, for those who are watching. But yeah, I am maybe 2 or 3 seasons behind the actual.
Oh, like arcs.
Yeah.
Oh,
so I'm pretty far behind right now.
fair. Even I know what's happening. Well, anyway.
Well, that's you. I'm not that. I'm not up to date.
Wait, but did we all grow up watching anime when we were younger as well?
My first was Dragon Ball Z. I'm not gonna lie.
And I had this conversation with like a friend last night. If you don't count like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Dragon Ball Z, my first would be Death Note.
Oh,
mine would have been Bleach.
Yeah.
Mine's Naruto, I think.
Mine would have been Bleach, and then I moved to Naruto.
I don't
I
know.
went from Death Note at 10 years old.
Wait, you were 10 years old watching? Yeah.
Yeah, my uncle introduced me to it.
I don't know if this is a good uncle, bad uncle.
I was like, oh, this is cool. But
this guy has a special book that just erases people's lives.
Yeah.
I think I was 11 or 12, because I think if we're not including Dragon Ball Z, but I grew up watching it, so I rewatched it from a young age again. So I watched it and I was like, oh yeah, this is on the Cartoon Network back then, or Toonami, and I'd be like, hey, let's cool. I'll watch Dragon Ball Z. And then as I was growing up, I had DVDs and films of it, so I'd end up watching it with my cousins. So that became like a yearly thing. So I can't really say Dragon Ball Z isn't my first. Because I've rewatched it several times growing up.
Fair.
But yeah.
Wait, where did you watch it?
At home with Levi.
No, but like on the internet?
No, on Toonami.
It was on Toonami.
It was on Toonami.
Toonami had a lot of anime.
Yeah, Toonami
Wait,
had
was
a
that
lot.
same for you, Patrick?
Yeah.
Toonami?
Well, I mean,
did I have Toonami?
Yeah. Toonami,
Cartoon Network, it was on there too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wait. Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so many moments in the podcast. I'm just like, dang. Not even being reminded of my childhood, like.
And then you go on like YouTube and you like find episodes where it's like 4 parts, and then like you have to find like
you have to find it in different part. Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Crunchyroll will sponsor us one day, please.
I still pay for mine. Do you have a subscription, Patrick? Are you subscribed to any websites?
Anime? I mean, I have Netflix. I used to have Crunchyroll, but I feel like Crunchyroll doesn't have that like archive of anime. Like they definitely
they're building it. They're building it now, though. Yeah.
Oh, that's good, because I go on Kiss Anime.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Yeah,
we don't.
I go on Kiss Anime just because, like, I mean,
have you heard about Anime Flix?
I do where I can. Anime Flix.
Yeah, it's a website. I found out recently. It's animeflix.io. Basically, it's got a plethora. When I say everything, it's everything.
Because that's how I feel about Kiss Anime.
Just for disclaimer, we don't encourage.
We don't encourage it.
No, we don't.
These are alternative methods.
Methods
that happen to be there.
Yes.
But yeah, I guess one thing I want to ask as well, like, because, like, Patrick, how was it for you, like, growing up as an Asian American? Because I feel like that's something me and Ray could learn from.
So I think growing up, I grew up in well, firstly, I moved in like from different places. So I'm originally from San Francisco. I was born there. I grew up for a little bit in New York. Over there, the Asian community, or the surrounding Asian community that I was in, wasn't as like prevalent. And then when I moved here, that's when I like was a little bit more exposed, given the area that I lived in. But yeah, being like Filipino, I think I definitely had this like weird like, am I Asian? Am I like not?
Yeah.
I feel like there's that weird like that line where it's like I've had a lot of like Vietnamese friends, and they wholeheartedly said like, oh, I'm Asian. But I feel like Filipinos tread this line of like not being like completely like that like Asian or like Pacific Islander.
Yeah, we get that.
So I think that's why I definitely gravitated like back then I wasn't like really exposed to like Filipino culture, like the media as well. So I think that's why I gravitated more towards like Japanese culture, because it was this like out of the park thing that, you know, I felt like I could connect with, given like, you know, my interest and just kind of like the way I am. But yeah, growing up, yeah, there wasn't too many like Filipino like inspirations, so I definitely looked towards like Japanese media, and also like YouTube at the time was like growing as well, like Wong Fu Productions, Jubilee, and just that like kind of like small community that they have. But yeah.
Oh, that's cool though. I definitely feel you on being Filipino and trying to identify yourself as Asian growing up. I mean, I was surrounded by a bunch of Filipinos growing up, mainly because of church and stuff. But during my weekday, when I was at school, I was maybe one of 3 Filipinos in my school. When I was in my sort of elementary or primary school, I was the only Filipino. So I wasn't really exposed to it. And I think I ended up embracing the fact that I was Asian just because of, I would say, bullying, kind of ish. Because they'd be like, yeah, because back growing up, it's like talked of having smaller eyes. It'd be like, hey, he's Chinese, but I'd have to be like, no, I'm not Chinese, I'm Filipino, but it's in Asia. So then I ended up kind of accepting, I'm Asian, but growing up, and then they were like, I kind of got taught about, hey, we're not really Asian, we're Pacific Islanders, but I kind of had that conflict. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you kind of embrace your Asianness, and then you're kind of told that you're not Asian because you're a Pacific Islander, and you're like, wait a minute, but it's in Asia. We are the Pearl of the Orient. Like, there are so many different things that Philippines can identify with, not only because of colonization, but because of the vast history behind the Philippines as a whole. But it's
like
crazy.
It's really crazy, you know, like Philippine like history as well. Like, I mean, there's just like so much like mixture going on in terms of like cultures and ethnicities, just even within the Philippines, just because, you know, a lot of people were going like in and out of there in terms of like either like aiding or just, you know, like other things. So I think that's also why like there's this like weird line, because in a sense, you're just like a mixture of certain things, of like different ethnicities. Like you have this like Latin background, but I also have this like Chinese background, but in the end, I'm Filipino. So yeah. Like definitely growing up, like I wasn't really even like surrounded by a lot of Filipinos. Like elementary school and middle school, I was probably like maybe one of 2. And not until high school, that's when like I was a little bit more exposed to more Filipinos.
Yeah, for me, it was like most of secondary, which is like early high school for you guys. I was like one of the few sort of like Asians. And it wasn't until I went to college, our college was equivalent, I guess you're like senior.
So it'd be senior / community. If you decide community, yeah.
And that's when I was more exposed to like Filipino like friendship groups and stuff like that. So for me, I was, I mean, I guess like I still kind of struggle again, like with that kind of identity, like British Asian, and again, like I'm half Filipino, half Singaporean, and I'm kind of like, where's home? Where's like it's a struggle, but it's not like it's sad. It's just something. It's part of that discovery, I guess.
Yeah.
Part of that journey that I'm partaking. And I guess it's because of like earlier you mentioned YouTube, and it was having those like Asian creators making stuff and being visible, which made me feel like drawn to them, same way you were drawn to them and drawn to like Japanese media, and I guess like that's why representation is so important, because it's what we kind of like. It's kind of like, because we have like that. I don't know for you guys, but for me, it's like sometimes I like growing up, I feel like I had a hole inside. And it's kind of like, because when you consume so much media, which is featuring like all white cast and all that kind of stuff, it's like you don't always see yourself. Like you can relate to
Yeah.
characters, but when you see a character who looks like you and you relate to them on another level, like is that just me? Or
Yeah,
No, I feel you.
It's weird because like yeah, I think that's why like I look towards like YouTube and like Japanese media, like because you know I see myself visually and kind of like characteristics relating more to like these guys. But yeah, I think yeah, representation is really important, but at the same time, I feel like you know you need to have that variety. And I think you know these days it's there, but there could always be more.
yeah, there's never enough. Like I say this a lot to like all of our kind of people within the British Asian community in terms of like, yo, like that there's no competition. Like if one of us win, all of us win.
Yeah.
And I genuinely believe that. But I also believe that on a bigger scale as well. Like if one Asian wins, everyone else wins as well. And again, like because we've spoken about Wong Fu, and both of us have that in common of having the opportunity to work with them, for them.
Yeah.
And I guess I've said this before in the previous episodes, like I wouldn't be here if I didn't see that representation and think, oh, I can do that. I can maybe do that. Oh no, yeah, I can do that. Can you share a bit about your experience with them?
Yeah, like so I guess a bit of background. I interned for them for about a year. And I was also on certain sets prior to that. But I think, you know, working for them was definitely like a goal I've always like set. Like even though if it was just like an internship, just being like surrounded by like all those in my head, like at the time, high level like creatives, that definitely inspired, you know, me to like want to create more. I know the internship was only supposed to be like 6 months, but they offered like, you know, if you still want to be here, and I was like, yeah, like I want to be here because, you know, this is like actually good to be like surrounded by like, you know, like-minded individuals that like want to make things. And I think that's why, you know, just kind of like, I know you mentioned on previous podcasts, like networking is really important because you want to have those connections in order for you to like reach a certain goal. But also don't network just to network. Like make sure you're making like meaningful connections.
Yes.
And you know, you want to expose yourself to people who think the same as you, because if you don't have that, then like what's the point of that connection then? Yeah.
No, I agree.
That's really good to hear though.
Yeah, that's a very healthy mindset, because it's like you don't want to just be known for the sake of being known. And you want to like know the right people. And I don't mean that in a sense of like, oh yes, this person will definitely help me to get to where I want to be, but also like, hey, like it's a two-way street. It's like, what can I also do for you? How can I help you? Networking with meaningful purpose, meaningful connections.
Yes.
I think it doesn't even have to be like just networking in terms of like business level. Like you can just be friends, like straight up just friends.
100%.
Like it shouldn't stop there. Like you shouldn't just be like, okay, we did this thing and we're done. Like that's it.
No. Yeah.
Because a lot of people have that mindset and it's pretty like toxic. So
wait, over there?
I'd say I've like seen
experienced
it in some aspect. Like I would see people.
Who am I fighting?
Like
I'm flying over there now after this is over, and
like it's crazy because like people like just like I get it, the hustle is there.
Yeah.
Don't like make that connection just because you want exposure.
Yeah.
Like
it's kind of like that one and done thing, you know?
like you want to like make these connections and like be friends and like help out each other, because that's what this like community is about.
Yes.
And a lot of people like ask me like, oh, like I guess like what's your role in Project Clover? I know Simon asked me that, but a lot of people do ask me that, or like, why don't you like have more people on the team? And my answer to that is like, literally all the friendships I've had like leading up to this and like, you know, making those certain shorts, everyone's part of Project Clover, because without them, like I wouldn't like be there, like be here to this day.
Big brain.
Big brain. Yeah, because like without them and without like, especially like Simon definitely like picked me up during a dark time and just kind of like pushed me to want to like create more. Because I'm like, this is our like official first time like actually talking.
Yeah.
Like we've always like DM'd and we met on like Twitter.
Yeah, Simon told me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
So, like,
I still remember your bio.
Oh yeah.
Because I love, because you just put it on the universe. Like, I want to work for One Food.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And then I watched you, and then like you got to where you wanted to like achieve that goal, and I was like, proud of you.
Even though it was only for a year.
It's a year longer than most who have aspired to do that.
You're longer than most, and I think, you know, definitely grateful like for all the connections, because without like you, Ray, without you, Simon, like I wouldn't, you know, want to like push to create, you know, certain things. So
that's super encouraging and lovely to hear. Like really,
so, like I love what you said about Project Clover, because I feel that way with BAM, and it's like anyone who's ever kind of like been part of a project or like helped us like in any form, it's like, yo, like I see them as being part of it as well. And it's funny when you say like, when people ask you, oh, what's your role, like we all struggle with that right now as well, especially when Sophie and Sunny ask me, and I'm just like, well, what, I don't, like, you guys, we will do everything, I don't know what
we
to
do
do.
everything. Exactly.
Especially since like I'm a like one-man team, so like I literally write, edit, shoot, not act, but you know, I think
one day.
I don't know. you'll be in it, right?
Yes, I'd love to be in it. Yeah, I'd love to.
But I think it's like kind of like this team effort of, you know, Project Clover, because like I'm just a guy trying to make stories, and everyone's there to help out.
I love that. That's so nice to hear, you know. It's kind of just like uplifting, and you're actually building a community for Project Clover as well. Kind of similar to how like BAM is building up a community as a whole. I mean, you're part of our community because you're on this podcast, so hey.
Yeah, like thanks for having me too. Like,
no, thank you.
Even though
for joining
we're
us.
many miles apart, like we're still.
Dude, I mean, right now you're like this close to my face. Oh yeah, man. So I guess like, I mean, I guess you kind of want, but so what would your plan? What are your plans then? I guess for yourself, for Project Clover or in general. I know we talked about plans, like sometimes not having a plan.
No, yeah.
What's your next plan goal?
Generally, I think it's still the same thing. Just telling stories about, you know, everyday life, everyday things, and kind of like accepting it how it is. I feel like some people would like a certain outcome of certain things, whether it be like a happy ending or like a sad ending. But in the end, like life doesn't go that way. Life is just kind of like accepting it how it is, whether or not you can do anything about it. I think that's something like I'd like to like push out to people, because, you know, life isn't always about happy endings. There's going to be some sad times too.
Yes.
But I guess like my goals. Just keep making videos when I can, and just see where that takes me.
can see you somewhere in Japan right now in the future.
Facts.
If only I can.
Yeah.
Just have
Soon
that.
Hey
come.
man, we believe in you,
Yeah.
and we're here to support you all the way because
Yes.
we love your work and we love what you're about. And to finally meet you as well now is like, I feel honored. Seriously.
Yeah. No, I'm honored.
No,
I'm
I'm honored.
with the Simon and the Ray of Bam and Beyond.
Oh man.
This is great. Yeah.
We're gonna watch.
Pioneering the frontier of British Asian media.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Like that's part of our mission. It's kind of like
Mhm.
I honestly see it as two stages. It's first bringing together the British Asian community. Like that's all part of the first step. But then afterwards, / at the same time, it's bridging the gap because we feel like we've been in like the shadows for how long? Like
Mhm.
and you guys have been getting some of the attention and we just want to be there to also support that.
Mhm.
Like because again it's not about just exposure or anything, it's about again
Representation.
communicating those messages of like because I feel like I generally do believe like when it comes to representation, which I know is like a buzzword now, but it's kind of like because when we feel seen, that's another level of empowerment. I mean that's how it feels for me. And I know that other people have felt that way as well. Like, you know, when you see like I remember when I saw Crazy Rich Asians in the cinema, I cried at the end. It's a good movie. Don't get me wrong. It's not like Oscar worthy or anything like that. But it was needed. It came out when it had to come out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for me to realize that, hey, I just watched a like all Asian cast film in the cinema, and I was surrounded by a lot of non-Asians. I'm like, what's happening right now? But yeah, man.
It's good to
Our
see.
time is coming, guys. People
Soon
are gonna talk
come.
about us, and then we're gonna link this podcast and be like, hey,
Talking
right here. Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
here. We were here.
this is where
On
we
this day.
all kind of like first probably met.
Mhm.
But yeah, thank you so much for being part of this.
No. Thank you for allowing me to show my 3 shorts as well as having me on this podcast. Like I really do appreciate it, and it means a lot because we've had like several conversations like throughout. I don't even know how many years, but
it's been a while now. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
But what is time though, right, guys?
Yeah, this is the start of something new. Maybe we can watch anime together.
Heck yeah, I'm down. Sorry,
yeah,
so quick.
I love that. But yeah, thank you again. I think. Dude, Ray, do you remember the outros? I forgot the outros.
Yeah.
He's
So,
just
yeah.
I'll say out the first one. So, guys, if you enjoyed this, if you enjoy what we're doing with BAM and everything, you can buy us a bubble tea to show support. So if you head to ko-fi.com/bam and beyond, you can buy us a bubble tea, show us some support, help us like cover our expenses. And if you like our merch, check it out. You can get it globally. Links on our website. Yeah, wait, Ray, remind me to send Patrick merch as well.
Oh yeah, 200%. Yeah.
Will
do.
Yeah, that's the main stuff for me.
Yeah. And if you are enjoying our podcast and you watch any of our content and you want to suggest anything to us, I advise and I 200% recommend that you join our Discord community. Our Discord is available. So if you want to head over to our website, bamnbeyond.com, you also see the link to our Discord there. We also host mini events there. So if you want to watch animes, if you want to watch TV shows, or even just a watch party, or if you dabble in music, we can even have a karaoke night, So feel free to join our Discord community because it is Asian August.
It is Asian August.
Asian August. Oh.
So Asian August, we're bringing it forward, bringing it back to the now, I guess.
Yes.
Because Asian August started with Crazy Rich Asians and Searching from 2018.
Yes.
So we want to make this a global thing, and yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Where's
Asian
Sophia,
couples.
man?
Where's Sophia when we need?
I know.
But yeah,
we can add it.
we're good. We're good. We can definitely add it.
But yeah, so coffee,
Mhm.
check out merch. If you're not subscribed yet to the podcast or following it on Spotify, make sure you do. Make sure,
Give
and
it
most
5
importantly,
stars.
5 stars, and even more importantly, follow Patrick.
Yes. Hello.
If you're not following Patrick,
You're
There's
missing
the
out.
corn ones.
then we will block you.
No, don't do that.
Oh no, no.
Okay, we won't block you. I will block you,
Yeah.
and I will find you
So Patrick, if you just want to declare your socials
again.
and then
Yeah. My personal Instagram is PTRCKP_. I post a lot of like, if you liked Another Day with You, it's a little more closer to like my photos. My Instagram for Project Clover is Project Clover_, and then YouTube is Project Clover. But yeah, thanks for having me again.
thank you for
always-
joining us on this podcast.
Yes. But yeah, make sure you follow Patrick. Otherwise, I will. I don't know what I'm gonna do now. Like, but yeah, I think we covered everything now. That's all
We
the
have
outros.
covered everything.
Any final
Something
words,
about
guys?
DMs, right? Something about DMs.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, so if you've got any ideas for Patrick, DM him any of your ideas and he will make
that
it
too.
come to
No,
life.
wait, yeah. If you're listening and you're from West
America.
Coast,
Oh yeah, West Coast.
LA,
LA area. Yeah.
from the
Oh.
LA area.
Mhm.
I was gonna say the zip code, but I don't know what it is, so I don't.
I don't even know it either. But it's okay.
I was about to say like 90210 or some shit. I was like, isn't that a TV show?
No, that's the TV show.
And that's a different area, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Think
cool.
so.
Don't listen to me, guys. Don't listen to me. But yeah, if you're from LA, yeah, connect with Patrick. And
Yeah, my DMs are open.
that just triggered me from the last episode.
Gosh, yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah. Simon's DMs are open, guys.
Simon's DMs are open. You should check
No,
that
not
out.
you guys as well. Don't do this to me. Do not do this to me.
If you're following me, go check out Simon.
Simon, yeah.
Yeah. Go slide into his DMs.
Yes.
And that's what will bring the podcast
To a close.
Thank you again for listening. Make sure you're subscribed on Apple Podcast,
Mhm.
5-star us, follow us on Spotify. You can also watch the podcast on youtube.com/bamnbeyond. Again, Patrick's socials, which will be linked below. And if you don't follow him, I'm being very serious. If I don't see a jump in his metric, I'm gonna be like,
Oh no.
Sure. It's cool.
We're all kidding.
But yeah, thanks,
Thank you.
Patrick. We will be having a follow-up at some point again.
Mhm.
Yeah, would love to.
We actually have another show that we're working on, which we could definitely have your input on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I was about to say the title, trying to tease it, but I was like, nah, we'll wait. But yeah, cool. I'm excited. Patrick, do you have anything new coming out soon? Did you say, or not yet?
Still working on it.
Still working?
on it.
As long as you're still working on it, that's the main
But
thing.
for now, just enjoy the collection that Simon and Ray graciously put together.
Yes, that you have given us permission to share with our audience. So thank you again. Yeah, all right. I'm ready to fight someone now.
What? Why?
We were talking about shonen animes, and now I'm hyped. Okay, now I'm hyped. All right, make sure you
Heck
follow
yeah.
Patrick, guys. All right,
Make sure you follow Patrick. But yeah, we'll catch you on the next episode.